Rey Mysterio has retained at Payback, and while he was celebrated by his LWO teammates out in front of the cameras, footage is seen that was shot by a fan looking for autographs in the car park, and it's Del Toro and Wilde trying to calm Santos down. And the only words picked up by the footage is of Santos saying, "It's not about the title. Why does everyone think I'm this shallow? You know what? Forget it." And Santos storms off and ignores the fans who are waiting. The situation escalates even more when later that week Dominic Mysterio shows up on SmackDown and he's in the ring with a wild challenge for Mysterio and the LWO. You know, No. We aren't doing that. I have a microphone, so you will shut up and you will listen to me. I'm here because the Judgment Day has all the gold right now, and we are hungry for more. I'm the most dominant North American champion in the history of this company, and what better title to take than my dead-beat dad's? And then I'd be the king of the USA. Think about it. It'd be Dommy Two Belts. Rey is here with Santos, but before he can even say a word, Dom cuts him off and says, "So what will it be, Dad, huh? You ran over here to SmackDown to get away from me, but I'm everywhere. I'm on Raw, I'm on NXT, and now I'm here. And I'm gonna show you that I'm a bigger star than you'll ever be." But Santos now steps in front and says, "You're on, but only if you fight us next week. Bring your..." But Rey cuts him off and says, "Hold on, Santos. I can speak for myself." And Dominic interjects and says, "Ooh, you gonna let him talk to you like that, Santos, huh? He used to talk to me like that. And look where I am now without him." Santos doesn't seem happy. But Rey speaks up and says, "I accept your challenge, Dominic. But on one condition. And that's if you do something you've never done a day in your life. You have to earn it. So next week, you bring Finn and Damien, and I'll bring Cruz and Yuck in. And it'll be the Judgment Day versus the LWO, and if you can win, I'll give you a shot at the United States Championship." Dominic immediately accepts the terms. He's more than happy to, in his father's words, earn it. But the mere fact that Rey chose Del Toro and Wilde as his team and not Santos being involved clearly rubs him the wrong way, and it gets brought up backstage with Zelina as she's trying to calm him down. But his frustration is growing, and Zelina asks it straight up, "Santos, is this jealousy? Was Grayson Waller right when he said you were upset about Rey winning the title and taking your shot? You've had a little bit of a chip on your shoulder lately. And listen to me, Rey is a legend. Rey is our leader, and he knows best. He knows what he's doing." Santos refuses to answer her, and he just storms off, and Vega is left on her own to contemplate what this means for the group. And they have to pull it together quickly because a week later, it's time for that mammoth six-man tag team match, and with Vega, Santos, and Rhea Ripley all watching closely from the back, it gets chaotic fast. The NFL season is here, and today I've partnered up with DraftKings, who are an official partner of the NFL, to bring you a great deal to kick off your season in the right way, where all new sign-ups can use my code MurfsYT13 and wager just $5, and they're going to give you a whopping $200 in bonus bets instantly. It's like getting your very first win with your very first wager with no questions asked. It's the perfect way to get started. So when you head to the website, you can wager on practically anything that's going to happen in the games and use your inside knowledge of the teams and the players to set yourself up to win big. And if sports betting is not available in your state, it's fine. You can join DraftKings daily fantasy sports contests for a shot at cash prizes across all sports. So download the app and use code MurfsYT13 when you sign up as a new customer to unlock this crazy offer and get in on the action before the start of the new season. That's code MurfsYT13, and the link is in the description. And all six more than hold their own. They pull out all the stops. The LWO is on fire, particularly Del Toro and Wilde. They take this opportunity on the big stage with both hands. and they represent the team and the LWO proud. But it's Judgment Day who ultimately start to get the upper hand through the dominance of Senior Money in the Bank Damian Priest and the dangerous Finn Balor. And it's Dominic who's done barely any of the heavy lifting. He's the one who stands to gain the most, but he's done the least. It's hardly what you'd call earning it. Nevertheless, we get the inevitable arrival of Rhea Ripley, but before she can even get to the ring, it's Zelina Vega that saw this coming and cuts her off, and she's wielding a kendo stick. Rhea makes a couple of attempts to pass, but Zelina has her bailed up. Priest and Ray are the legal men, and Priest sends Ray to the outside, and now Dirty Dom is laying in some cheap boots. It's so typical. But we then see the arrival of Santos Escobar, and he runs straight over and grabs the US title. He runs at Dominic, but he moves, and it seems as though he has plenty of time to react, but he still follows through, and he cracks Ray with the title, and he stands to the side, and Dominic throws him back in the ring. Priest hits a South of Heaven, and now, with Del Toro and Wilde incapacitated on the outside, Priest tags in Dominic. He goes to the top, and he hits a frog splash and pins Ray. He earns the title match at Fastlane. It's going to be Dom's chance to be a double champion. But all this does is double the tension backstage when Ray and Santos are arguing while being separated by the rest of the LWO. And Ray is saying, "If you have a problem with me, just tell me. I love you like a brother. We can talk about this. Do you want a shot at the title? Hell, do you want the title? If it's gonna come between us, just take it." And again, Santos refuses to acknowledge the question, and he storms off. It appears that there's more than just a few cracks in the LWO. And the cracks in Santos' patience widen as well when he's asked about it on his way out of the building later in the night by Byron Saxon. "Santos, please, can I just get a quick word on what happened tonight? Many people are speculating about what Grayson Waller brought to light a few weeks ago, and that you might be upset that Rey Mysterio is the United States champion, and you aren't right now." And Santos snaps again and says, "No! Why do you people still ask me about this? You assume I'm that shallow. You assume titles are my only motivation. Well, you don't know anything about me. You don't know what I'm capable of. My motivations are my own, but I will say this. I will get what I want eventually. And what that is for me to know and the rest of you to find out when I want you to." It's a firm warning. It's an unstable environment for the LWO. The cracks in the team don't stop them from still attempting to thwart the Judgment Day dominance over WWE. Because with Bloodline imploding, it's clear the Judgment Day are the top faction in the company, and the LWO want that spot as well. But a big part of that is keeping the championships out of their grasp. But like him or loathe him, Dominic is on a roll, and he rolls into SmackDown for a big singles match against the most unsettled member of the group in Santos. He's looking to vent some frustration in the ring, but at his request, he doesn't want to see any member of the LWO at ringside, because Ray didn't seem to want him at ringside last week, or even in the ring for that matter. But the same setup isn't in place for Judgment Day, because as ever, Mommy Ripley is right by Dominic's side, cheering him on. But you know, she's not just doing that. She's never just an innocent bystander, and of course, she starts getting involved. But that immediately brings out Ray, and he's carrying the US Championship with him. He gets to ringside, and Rhea immediately backs away. But this catches the attention of Santos. He explicitly asks for no involvement, and he's berating Rey Mysterio. But as they are arguing back and forth, it gives Dominic the opening. He pushes Santos with his knee, and he ends up bouncing his head off the gold. It's incredibly unlucky. But now all Ray can do is watch on as Dom hits Santos with a 619, a frog splash, and a cover for the win. Dominic is on a roll, and he looks down at his father and says, "Looks like you're on the fast lane to losing that title and the LWO. So I'll see you on the weekend, unlike when I was a kid." It's father versus son again. But this time, it's for so much more than just family. It's for the United States Championship. But just before the match gets underway, here comes Adam Pearce. And he says, "Gentlemen, I'm so sorry to interrupt. This is a huge match, but I have an even bigger announcement. And it's in conjunction with Mr. Shawn Michaels. This match now is not only for the United States Championship, but it's also for the North American Championship. May the best man win." It's huge news. This match just became a double title match, and Dominic is looking over at Rhea and he is furious. He can't believe it. But Ray takes advantage of this. He drop kicks him in the back and he's going to line him up for a 619, but Dominic gets dragged out of the ring by Rhea and she's berating him to try and keep his head in the game. But as she is, Ray then nails him with a dive and throws him back in the ring. And despite the rocky start, these two put on one hell of a showing. Sometimes you hit the ones you love the hardest, and it really shows in this one. At several points in the match, you can actually feel that Dominic is starting to respect his father more. He tells Rhea not to interfere. He chooses on different occasions not to cheat. There's a change in him. It's almost like the battle has brought back the respect. But Rhea hates this. She continues to berate Dom from the apron, and the referee gets tired of it. He's now telling her to get down to stop infringing in the match. But as he's distracted, here comes Santos, and he grabs the US title again, and he slides in the ring. He runs towards Ray and Dom, and he collects one of them. Santos hit Ray. No accident this time. He made a deliberate choice. He slides out of the ring with the damage done, and Dominic can't believe it. Given the respect that seems to have crept back in for his father during the match, he almost doesn't even want to cover him. But again, the devil on his shoulder, Rhea Ripley, is screaming at him to cover him. Ray is done. He is out, and Dominic gives in to the pressure. He covers Ray, and Dominic Mysterio is a double champion. It is absolutely unbelievable. The crowd completely drowns out his music with boos. Rhea grabs the United States title because Dom almost doesn't even want to, but maybe he sees the error of his ways. And as Dom holds the North American title, they both leave ringside. But back in the ring, Santos is hammering away on Ray. He is unrelenting. All this pent-up aggression is just spewing out of him. And Dominic turns. He looks like he wants to go back and help, but once again, the devil on his shoulder reels him in. Dominic reluctantly leaves. Santos has Ray completely brutalized in the ring. Escobar has finally snapped, and he's chosen this moment of all moments to do it. And he takes another moment on SmackDown to face the music. Ray forced my hand when I was injured to take my spot. And what else am I supposed to say in that situation? No? Then what? I've disrespected a legend. It was a lose-lose situation for me. So I made a choice. If I can't have the US title, neither can he. And what better way to teach him a lesson than to lose to his own son, so now he knows how it feels to have something taken from him. Now Ray knows how I felt, watching my chance slip. But that was the initial reason. That was the first reason. It's become so much more than that now. Now it's about me. No longer will I live in his shadow. Because let's be honest here, Rey Mysterio's career should have ended years ago. Hell, maybe that will have to be the next thing that I take from him. So what now, huh? After all we went through with Legado, what is it? You're either with me or you're against me. Ray is here, but he's battered and bruised. And he's now standing in front of the LWO and he says, Santos, I always said all you had to do was ask. I give you a shot at the title that you deserve. But you took the jealous route. You took the coward's way out. I hand you the LWO shirt. I trust you with that. I trust you with Eddie's legacy. And this is how you repay me. I loved you like a brother. And you stabbed me in the back. And Santos says, oh, you trusted me with Eddie's legacy. You trusted me with the LWO. Well, that's an interesting way to frame it. You could also say it like this. You could say you wanted to cling on to the last strands of your career after your own son left you. You replaced him with me. So don't pretend like this was some great honor that you bestowed on me, or even like I needed it. And Ray says, okay, that's fine. I see where I stand. You're gonna go out on your own. If you weren't such a backstabbing liar, I'd almost be happy for you. But Santos smugly says, on my own, you say? Wild and Del Toro turn on Ray now. They continue on from Fastlane, and they heap on the pain to Mysterio. And Zelina Vega is at ringside. She's beside herself. She can't believe what she's seeing, and she obviously wasn't privy to this plan. And she says she wants no part of it and leaves to try and get help. She runs backstage, and who does she run into but Dominic? And Zelina pleads with him. She wants him to go out there and help, but before he can say anything, Rhea steps in front and says, Dominic doesn't have time for losers. He's a double champion. I'm a world champion. We're all champions in the Judgment Day, and we don't mingle with peasants. Vega quickly walks off to try and find more help, and Dominic is forced to walk away as well, even though it looked like he wanted to help. And the beatdown has subsided back in the ring as Santos stands over Ray and says, you handed me Eddie's legacy, but now I want to take yours. You can keep the LWO because Legado is forever. The US Championship was never my prize. My prize has always been to take your career. Legado del Fantasma is back, but disrespectfully, they still use the LWO style logo as their entrance tron. And with Rey Mysterio absent for the week due to the injuries sustained in the beating, Legado run riot. They interrupt matches. They even interrupt interview segments. And they bully people around, including Byron Saxton, who's just trying to do his job backstage. And they rough him up, and Santos says, ask me about my motivation now, Byron. Am I jealous of not being US champion? Huh? That's what I thought. I told you all, you don't know me. It's incredibly intimidating. But as they move even further through backstage, we see them come face to face with no other than Judgment Day. Two ruthless and dominant factions who have been to war in the past, looking as though they are going to revisit that war. But no. In fact, Bella says, we love your work. You guys are actually the kind of people we could get behind. Ain't that right, Dom? And Dom is hesitant. But with Rhea right near him, intimidating him, he says, yeah, for sure. And Santos says, you owe us big time, Dominic. After all, I'm the reason you're a double champion, and I'm the reason your deadbeat dad is on the shelf. That's what you always wanted, right? You're not going soft on us, are you? You're not going soft on Mommy, are you? Priest says, he's right, isn't he, Dom? Thank him. Thank the man. But Dom doesn't answer. He seems like he's having second thoughts, but Rhea steps in and says, thank him, Dom. You're grateful for Mr. Escobar's help, aren't you? And Dom reluctantly says, I appreciate it, Santos. Thank you. And Balor is overjoyed, and he says, since you seem to be doing so well at getting rid of deadbeat Dad Ray, we just wanted to offer our support. If there's anything you need to get that done, let us know. We are very much for the cause. Ain't that right, Dominic? It's an ominous warning. Rey Mysterio is in so deep. Not only is Legado hunting him, but now, if Legado choose, they have the backing of Judgment Day as well. But speaking of ominous warnings, Legado del Fantasma want to send another one. And the next week, they have an LWO flag in the ring, and they are looking to burn it. Santos says this is to signify Rey's career going up in flames at the hands of him. But as they're about to light the flag on fire, Zelina comes running out and says, I'm not going to stand here and let you disrespect the LWO, Rey, or Eddie. I don't know what happened to you, but I'm not going to stand for it. But Santos just laughs and says, what are you going to do about it, Zelina? Seriously. And Zelina says, me? Oh, I'm not going to do anything. They will. It's Garza and Carrillo, the nephews of an original member of the LWO, Hector Garza. They take out Del Toro and Wilde, and it leaves Santos in the ring alone. And he's looking around at the chaos, but of course, Rey is there too. And he leaps off the top rope, and he starts the brawl with Escobar. But that very quickly sees Santos dip out of the ring. And Rey is calling him on for more. Even though he's battered and bruised, he wants to fight. And he says, Survivor Series, let's do this. The match that always should have happened. The match we should have had before I got injured. And before you got bitter. But this time, there's no handshake. This time, it's a fight. This time, I'm going to teach you some respect. And Santos rapidly replies and says, you're on, but on one condition. And you can only find out what that condition is next week when Cruz and Yelkin take on your little B-grade Legado wannabes. I'll see you there. Carrillo and Garza defending the honor of the LWO, and they do it with pride. They do it with incredible offense that Del Toro and Wilde struggle to deal with at certain points of the match. All four men put on an in-ring classic. And the spirit of Eddie Guerrero is alive and well when Carrillo and Garza combine and they hit Stereo 3 Amigos. It's a beautiful sight. And they take it a whole other step further when they want to finish it off with Stereo Frog Splashes. But before they leap off and surely end the match, we hear Santos yelling from the stage and he has Mysterio in his clutches. Hey, enough of this boring nostalgia. I said I would tell Rey the conditions, and I'm here to do it now. Carrillo and Garza are understandably distracted by this, but they then get thrown off the top rope by Del Toro and Wilde. They dispatch Carrillo, and it leaves Garza, who is the legal man, 2-on-1, and they put him down. They win the match, but that is very much secondary, as we now find out what the conditions are for Escobar and Mysterio's match. Rey, this was all about legacy, right? All about handing us the LWO shirt, handing us Eddie's legacy, right? Well, what about my legacy? I think you know how this goes, Rey. It's up to the legends like you to pass the baton. It's not up to you to pass me some cheap merchandise and pass it off as that baton. So if you won't pass the torch, I'll have to take it from you. If you want a match at Survivor Series, you have to put your career on the line. And if you're having second thoughts, I'm gonna give you something to show up for so you don't run. The ultimate disrespect. Santos has removed Rey Mysterio's mask, and he's taking it with him all the way to Survivor Series. And if Rey wants it back, he's gonna have to show up, he's gonna have to survive. Dominic Mysterio with a successful defense. He's still Dommy 2 belts, but Dominic only leaves with one. he seems to forget to take the US title with him, and it's left at ringside. It's a little odd, but no one really thinks anything of it. Not least Rhea Ripley, who backstage is proud of her man Dom. And as Dominic takes her side, he takes his place in front of the TV because the next match is the big one between Santos and Rey Mysterio. And Escobar really ramps up even more disrespect when he wears the very mask he took off Rey Mysterio to the ring. The crowd is shrouding Santos in boos. But the question then turns to Rey Mysterio. Is he even fit to fight? Will he even accept the challenge? Is he even in the building? Rey is here, but he's covered up, and Escobar loves this. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, your hero, the one and only Rey Mysterio, reduced to covering his face and being ashamed, being embarrassed. Come on, Rey. It's not like we haven't seen your face, you filthy animal. Listen, Rey, listen, game's over, okay? I won't blame you if you don't want to go through with this. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you the chance to retire right here, right now. We don't even need to fight. I'll give you the chance to hand me your legacy like you handed me Eddie's. Just retire and walk away. It's easy. Rey doesn't walk, and Santos is getting frustrated, and he says, okay, have it your way. Santos walks towards him, but Rey spins around, flicks the towel off, and he's masked up, and he's ready to fight for his legacy. He's ready to fight for his career. And we see Carrillo and Garza holding the rest of Legado at bay, who are panicking backstage. And they are under the instruction of Zelina, who has the ultimate loyalty and respect for Rey. But back in the ring, they tear each other apart. Rey fights with all the usual grit and determination that he's known for. He's been completely decimated in all of this, constantly belittled, constantly disrespected, both mentally and physically. And as Santos tries to get his hands on him, he's still as evasive as ever. So much so that Santos accidentally clotheslines the referee. And Santos then sees this as a perfect opportunity to try and rob Rey of his career. He takes him to the outside. He throws him over near the announce table. And he goes under the ring to look for a weapon. But little does he know, Rey is laying next to the United States Championship that Dominic left behind. Santos comes up with a baseball bat, but Rey takes his chance to do a little bit of lying, cheating, and stealing. He blasts Santos with the championship. He throws him in the ring, and we all know what's next. He dials it up. He hits the 6, 1, 9. He goes to the top, and he delivers something from Eddie's legacy to conserve his own. He lands the frog splash and saves his career. It's another classic Rey Mysterio moment. And backstage, during Rey's celebration, Rhea is berating Dominic, and she's saying, "Why the hell was that there? Did you leave that there deliberately? Dom, you answer me right now." And Dom just smirks and says under his breath, "Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying." "What did you say?" "Nothing, Mum. Nothing. Let's go. Let's go." "Dominic, I swear, if you left that title deliberately out there, I'm gonna kill you."